your heart if you're not as distracted as you can. So we've tried to make it easy for you. If you use the QR code here, this will give you an outline and give you the notes from each of the presentations. So take a moment, pull out your phone, and take a get it open and take the open the screen, open the QR code, and look at the notes that are available there. It'll give you the top 3 or 4 messages for each of the demographics. It'll talk about some of the key points that you'll hear through the presentation today. And it will absolutely be amazing. Also, with the slides that we'll send you, you can use it for continuing education and being able to train your teams. So look at these as a way to be able to be present with us today and hear the messages that are being presented so eloquently and so dynamically by the wonderful presenters that we have today. Also, wanted to make you aware is that during the presentations, we're going to be asking for testimonials. And I think the testimonial part is the funnest part of these presentations. So we'll ask after each of the individual sections for you to film a testimonial. And here are a couple of rules. One is to keep it short. I'll remind you when we get there. But one is to keep it short, and 2 is to keep it compliant. And for those top 3 testimonials that we'll get, we'll send you a $25 gift card for the doTERRA Marketplace. So it'll be a fun thing to be able to do. And I'll remind you along the way. And finally, I used to travel with Dr. Hill in the old days, and we would go everywhere. We would go to Japan, we would go to Korea. We have been all over the world together, and every presentation that I've done with him is I've learned from him. Well, he cries at every presentation. I think that's wonderful. He always cheers up, and I've tried to emulate his style, and it just doesn't work as well. But what Dr. Hill does super well is he talks about the product and what it is. He also talks specifically about those things in the product that matter to me. What am I going to get out of it? What am I going to learn about listening to the presentation on the product? How is it different from anything else in the marketplace? And how do I share it? And so when you're in the presentations and you're listening in the presentations today, that's what I want to hope. That's what I'm going to ask you to look for is, how is this different? How can I share it? How can I bless somebody's life with the product? And how can I make a difference in the world in which I live today? So with that and that quick introduction, I wanted to turn it over to one of our product experts, the amazing Laura Jacobs. Laura and I have known each other for a long time. We've worked on Empowered Success together, and Laura is my buddy, and I'm happy to call her one of my mentors too. So Laura, it's your turn, and take it away.
Well, thank you. And good morning. It's so good to be here and to be a part of such an incredible and significant day. So thank you for having me. I'm going to jump right in, and I'm excited. I get to kick the day off with speaking to our major core campaign, which is Wellness Made Simple, and diving into each of these portions of this thought process. So first, let's jump in and look at foundational wellness. I know it's something none of you have thought about, right? It's something we're talking about consistently and constantly. And today, we're going to be proving and reproving foundational wellness over and over and over again within these categories of targeted solutions. But before we go there, let's set the stage in general about the power behind this bundle of products. First of all, it would behoove us to jump over the obvious and not to recognize the state of the world and humanity and the fact that we are overfed and undernourished, and that 9 out of 10 of the most impactful risk factors are tied to poor nutrition. In fact, 7% of the most common health challenges are due to lack of nutrition. And so with that in mind, what happens then when those nutrient needs or requirements aren't met? Well, any kind of condition that exists within us could then worsen. We could have a suboptimal bone health, cardiovascular health, et cetera. Our hormones can become more and more ragingly imbalanced. Low energy can become our daily experience, and metabolism could become impacted. None of that sounds exciting, does it? And so here we propose to the world, the doTERRA way is to lay a strong foundation, and to do so with our VMG, which is available to us to help fill those nutritional gaps with an incredible daily dose of 92 different ingredients that provide for us vitamins, minerals, greens, and essential oils, all delivered in a way where we can have optimal absorption and bioavailability. And then we have our E omega. The number one deficiency on the planet is omegas. And here we have available to us not only an optimal dosing of our omega fatty acids, but with the merits of wild orange and all that it has to offer to enhance not only the absorption, but the quality of those fish oils so they don't expire unnecessarily, and then to nurture such important parts of our body, everything from our brain, our heart, our hormones, our joint health, our skin, you name it, omegas are involved. And our third player here is our PB Restore, which of course contains powerful pro, postbiotics, and more that are here to help us obtain and to retain, maintain a healthy gut. So with that in mind, let's just jump into each of these products just briefly and remind ourselves, what do I have here? And all day long when you hear from me, what I'm going to be proving, right? I'm going to take like a lawyer position and I'm going to be proving for our products. The value of these products is truly immeasurable and beyond our comprehension. And so here we can see some basic ingredients and how they compile to create an incredible competitive so-called multivitamin, mineral, and greens product. But as we get through the conversation today, Jared and I are going to unpack this foundational wellness bundle over and over again in reference to a specific targeted area. So keep your mind and eye out for that, right? And then when it comes to our omegas, again, you're going to hear about them a lot today. We just want you to have a general comprehension of how significant these are. Again, being one of the greatest deficiencies, look at what doTERRA has identified through clinical trials with healthy participants that we saw significant increases in things like omega levels, which I'll show you on the next slide, but then also significant heart health impacts, including the lowering of diastolic blood pressure and our resting heart rate to the tune of saving us millions of beats a year in our lives, which gives us our hearts, the strength to do other things. Here is that representation of that study that when participants took our omega product, our specific omega product, especially with that wild orange increasing absorption and bioavailability, 100% of participants saw an increase and improvement in their omega levels. That's significant. Our next player, again, we're going to reintroduce this all day long, is our PB Restore Pro Biome Complex. I'm a huge fan. I love telling the story of this product. I love using Alex DeBell's analogy that he taught from stage the year our product was introduced, that you're kind of like a textiles factory, right? And you have employees that come in to make the goods. And so you have your probiotics are like your work crew, right? They do the work. Your prebiotic is the fiber or the textiles with which those workers can do their work. It feeds their efforts. And then they make products, they make byproducts, right? And so your byproducts are your postbiotics. And that in and of itself is a topic we could spend an hour on because it's so fascinating to learn about the things that you make because you have the right goods in your factory. And then of course, any good factory is going to have a cleanup crew, janitorial crew that'll come through in the evenings. And those are our bacteriophages, which we've nicknamed phages. And they come through and disrupt any unwanted guests within our gut environment and help us maintain an incredible factory. So that brings us to the wrap on this incredible foundational wellness bundle and how it truly meets the needs of the core foundation of our wellness lifestyle here through nutrition and digestion. Now, our next portion of our Wellness Made Simple is looking at the oils, especially the foundational oils. And one of the things I would want to add is my witness of the Latin term matter and patter. It's mother and father. It's pattern and matter. You need matter to get work done, brick building, right? And then you need patterns that instruct that brick building. And that's where essential oils come in and have an incredible role they can play. And of course, this is our top 13 players that people can obtain for free upon enrolling with one of our bundles and then sticking with our rewards program throughout a year. And you're going to hear, again, conversations about all of these. I love this image showing us how each of these can play in different areas of our wellness lifestyle. Of course, we think to Digestion for digestive support. We think of frankincense for cellular support, and we have a million things in between, right, that can help us with so many, our oils are like employees we can hire to do so many jobs for us. And the big conversation this year that especially Jared, Dr. Riggs, Dr. Hill have all spoken to us about is the fact that essential oils can turn on pathways. and that then nutrients fuel those pathways, right? So this is the culmination of these two things, the matter pattern coming together. And I love this analogy, and I love how this works. So when you hear cellular pathways, I thought it might be nice just to have a little science class here for 30 seconds and look at this image, and it shows how a signal molecule, like an essential oil, for example, or a nutrient, comes in, it's received at the receptor site of the cell. It's then allowed to, if it passes security, it's allowed to pass through the membrane. And then it moves into different signals throughout the cell, which then creates an outcome. Some sort of action or response occurs in the body. What if you could take the helm of this kind of conversation in your body? Do you realize that not only could you improve communication between cells, but you could help enhance your body's ability to protect you, to repair, and to maintain a state of homeostasis? Whereas if these pathways are not on their game, it can cause all kinds of disruptions in your body, let alone the ability of your cell to communicate with other cells, let alone create positive actions within. So this ability to influence cellular communication is absolutely huge. And because cells are directed through chemistry, we have something magic here because essential oils are chemical messengers. They're easily recognized. They pass security with flying colors, and they turn on cellular pathways. And one of the things we want to emphasize here is the merits of this, especially when taken internally. So now let's marry these two worlds, and we've heard amazing scientific study results that doTERRA has continued to share with us, that simply by adding these 5 key essential oils to our VMG blend in a very unique way. And it's fun. I've got to listen to Dr. Scott Johnson lecture on why each of these oils were chosen, and look at the enhancement then of the body's ability to absorb and utilize things like vitamin C, iron, vitamin E. We've heard also like 10 times calcium. We've heard amazing results because of the presence of essential oils, which takes us to our last category, which is what our entire day is about. And that's targeted solutions. And this is where it's the third arm or piece to this puzzle of we've got our nutrients, we've got our oils, our signals, and then we have an emphasis. And it's at this point we invite people to customize. And so we have available for anyone out there within the sound of our voice to take our wellness lifestyle assessment to help them see, do you have gaps in certain areas of your life where enhancing or focusing on those areas would be useful for you? And so this is a really key gateway to then how would we then lead them into the conversations we're going to learn about today? And I love this graphic again, just showing this is a really good capture on some of the things we're going to talk about today, and a really good capture on the general scope of the targeted solutions that we now have with doTERRA and how we can help people enhance goals in these certain areas. Do things like periodic cleansing, whatever the case may be. It's a beautiful representation. This is what your day is going to be about. And the last word for me in sharing is I'm so passionate about doTERRA and our campaign, our ethos statement that wellness powered by essential oils is who doTERRA is. And as we look through this entire wellness lifestyle, we have our oils in our foundational wellness products. I just talked through that. We have oils in all of our targeted solutions, right? We have oils that show up in our home and personal care, and they're a priority. What goes on and around you is as important as what's going on in you. You're just polluting the system that you're trying to manage. And so we encourage people to look at cleaning up their home and personal care products. And then lastly, informed self-care. Life happens. There's little urgencies. There's fires to put out. And so therein lies this lifestyle, this balance between building our wellness and then also making sure we can show up for ourselves during those times when things go awry, whether it's a bug or a burn or too much sun or you name it. We've got our oils, those top shelf solutions that we keep available to us. So I hope you enjoyed today. I'm looking forward to connecting with you again. And I'm going to turn it over next to Dr. Kat or Dr. Catherine. I have yet a chance to meet her, and I understand she's on our medical advisory board. So take it away.
Yes, thank you so much, Laura. That was amazing. And I'm just really excited to be here and to talk about foundational wellness because it is very aligned with what I do on a regular basis, being more holistic, more integrative in what I do day to day with individuals. And as everyone knows now very well, thanks to your amazing presentation, foundational wellness basically is referring to those essential elements or building blocks, if you will, of health that are very holistic, that support your body to function at its best. So it is important to note that there are other elements that can coincide with that to help elevate you to the next level when it comes to your total wellness holistically. And I'm here to talk about the cleansing piece. So when it comes to cleansing, we're wondering, how does that fit into this whole foundational wellness topic or narrative at all? And I want people to understand, since we are talking about those core set of practices, habits, conditions that create long-term physical, mental, emotional, even spiritual health, the cleansing will fit into that foundational wellness as a supportive or more periodic intervention. So it's not technically a pillar of foundational wellness, but it is a fantastic and strong tool to enhance or reset one or more of those pillars, like nutrition, like digestion, like detoxification. So when we talk about specifically doTERRA's 30-day cleanse, I do really love all of the products that are involved and how it is itself, the entire cleanse divided into 3 key phases. You have initially the activate phase, and then you transition into the reset phase, and then you close out with the renew phase, with each being 10 days long. So I think that was very strategic, even scientifically, and that's what I'm here to do, is to share a little bit of science background to provide context to this cleanse system so that it is better received, better understood, and so that you can intelligently know how these products are interacting with your body throughout your cleansing experience. So just to talk about really quickly those 3 different areas, or the 3 different sections of the cleanse, or phases, I should say. If you understand the phases, it helps you to better understand why you're taking each product, when you're taking it, at what duration, at what part of the cleanse, et cetera, et cetera. So the first phase, that activate phase, we're talking about products and actions that work to stimulate your elimination pathways. These are your key elimination organs, your liver, your kidneys, your gut, et cetera. We're working on managing your inflammatory load, priming your digestive system and your microbiome at large. And then when you transition into the second phase, the reset, we're talking about products and actions that really work to eliminate digestive triggers like gluten or dairy or sugar, as we work to rebuild your gut lining. We're really working on calming those immune and inflammatory responses here. And then as we wrap up with the renew phase, we're looking at products and actions that work to really reintroduce nutrients, and specifically working to elevate you on a cellular level. So we're looking at cellular regeneration. We're looking at cellular optimization of your mitochondrial function, for example, balancing your hormones, transitioning, which I feel to be most important, into sustainable long-term habits, and using the cleanse as a stepping stool towards long-lasting lifestyle change. So let's go ahead and dive deeper into the actual contents of doTERRA's 30-day cleanse and restore kit in a little bit of detail, now that you understand why they were put where they were put regarding the schedule. So first, I want to talk about the VMGs. Just like Laura said, that's one of my favorite products of all time. I literally take this every day, and I feel like you cannot even begin to talk about cleansing without talking about this product. In fact, this product is one that covers so many bases that it would be one that you would take the entire duration of the cleanse. So we're hitting all 3 phases with this product. It includes very key ingredients that work for detoxification support. So we're talking NAC, or N-acetylcysteine, which is it's known for being a very strong precursor to glutathione. And what glutathione is your body's master antioxidant and detoxifier. So we produce this naturally on our own. It's very powerful. It's actually made up of 3 different amino acids, and it would just help you to amplify your detoxification experience to let your body join the detox with you, with its own detoxifiers. So we're amplifying those precursors to produce more of that. And we're also including things like broccoli seed extract. This really helps to activate detox enzymes to support your liver, which again, as I mentioned before, is one of your key detoxification pathways. So we're including that in the form of, okay, we're resetting and we're supporting. And then we're also including things like dandelion plant extract. Now, dandelion traditionally is known to enhance liver and kidney cleansing and detoxification. We're stimulating bile flow, supporting your urinary detox. We have a lot, like tons of research and insight supporting why these ingredients are included with the products. But just for the sake of time, I want to make sure I'm just hitting all of these powerful ingredients that are allowing VMG to be incorporated in this cleansing experience in the first place. We also have the E omega. So we cannot talk about cleansing without, as I mentioned before, talking about reduction of inflammation and those inflammatory responses within the body. And so I mentioned that that is something that is key throughout the entire duration, all 3 phases. So again, this would be one that would be great to include for the entire duration, the full 30 days of your detox and cleansing experience. This one is very powerful because of the fatty acids that are incorporated. We're talking EPA and DHA, which are very important for very different reasons. So the EPA is a omega-3 fatty acid that's known for supporting your inflammatory system. So we're talking about reducing the severity of your inflammatory reactions by modulating your immune cell function. DHA is another omega-3 fatty acid that does support overall immune function, and it also may contribute to reducing the severity of your inflammatory reactions. So we need both sides of the coin working together in order to help you have a glorified experience when it comes to reducing and controlling inflammation. And we have the added bonus of the wild orange essential oil that's added to this product that is rich in limonene, which this chemical constituent we know helps with promoting a healthy metabolism as well as healthy gut or gastrointestinal system. So we want to make sure that we are including this piece along with the cleansing piece where we're promoting detoxification, we're promoting restoration and support of these organs, but we're also taking a step forward to manage and even reduce inflammatory reactions here. Now, just a final product that I want to highlight that is also another good one to take during the duration of the 30-day cleanse is the PB Restore. This is definitely another one of my favorite products of all time and something that I do personally take every day, whether I'm cleansing or not. It does, just like the VMG, just like the E omega, it does hit all 3 phases, the activate, reset, and renew. So we're talking about supporting your gut integrity, which only makes sense because this is your first line of detox defense. So as you see here, a healthy intestinal lining prevents toxins from even entering your bloodstream in the first place. So this product contains a lot of powerful strains that help to maintain intestinal barrier and also helps to reduce gut permeability as well as to reduce your overall toxic load that's on the liver and on the immune system on a daily basis. So we're going to go into that a little bit deeper in just a moment. It's also important to understand that this product feeds and balances the microbiome for toxin elimination. Because it has such a diverse and balanced blend of different strains, it helps to then balance your microbiome. So now we're assisting with promoting the good and getting rid of the bad. So we're building the good and we're neutralizing the harmful substances such as heavy metals, xenobiotics, metabolic waste, et cetera, and we're restoring or amplifying your body's ability to eliminate toxins even after the cleansing period is finished. So again, another good product to help you in the now, the here and now of doing the cleanse. And then as you use it as a stepping stone to elevate your lifestyle afterwards. The bacteriophages also clear the way for beneficial detoxifiers. So specifically the 4 included bacteriophages in this product seek out and disable unwanted bacteria, reducing microbial competition and allowing the detox supportive strains in doTERRA's PB Restore to flourish and perform at higher capacity. So just a couple other notes to take in about PB Restore. The postbiotics that are involved in this product activate immune and detox pathways. So the specific strain, the L. rhamnosus, interacts with the body's immune cells to promote a regulated inflammatory response. So here we are again with this control regulation of your inflammatory response, which is essential. I cannot stress enough, essential during any detoxification period when the body's immune system is trying really hard to actively clear these harmful substances that are being pulled out because we're cleansing. So we have to be able to make sure we're pulling out the yucky things from where they've been hiding for so long, that we're clearing them out of your body, out of your system as quickly as possible, and that we're actually supporting your body so that nothing pops up as a response or in reaction to being exposed to these harmful substances that we've pulled out from their hiding places. And finally, with PB Restore, we're looking at reducing oxidative stress. So this is extremely supportive to your liver and cellular detoxification pathways. This is done through strains like, again, the L. rhamnosus, as well as the Paracasi, and these have been shown to lower reactive oxygen species and support your mitochondrial and tissue recovery. And this is working on relieving burden on those detox organs that I mentioned in the beginning, your liver, your kidneys, etc., which is really powerful in the form of anti-aging and working on making you less susceptible to chronic conditions, to inflammatory conditions, and again, transcending the cleanse itself and continuing to help you after the cleansing period is over. So I want to just make sure that we're all on the same page. When we talk about cleansing and detoxification and removing toxins, we have to be very clear about what a toxin even is in the first place. So very simply put, a toxin is simply any substance that places undue stress on the body. And your toxic load is going to describe the sum of toxins accumulated within your body and the burden they place on your vital organs. So it's really important to realize that, especially here in this country, in the United States, we are exposed to countless toxins every day, and even from sources that you're not even aware of. So because of the nature of our air quality, soil quality, food quality, water quality, on and on and on, with every breath you take, with every bite you eat, every minute you stand in the sun, every chemical, whether it's natural or synthetic, that you encounter, you are being exposed to substances that can positively or negatively impact your health. So majority of what we take in our diet is going to be oral, like you consumed it orally through your diet, or maybe you inhaled it, inhalation, or maybe something you applied topically to your skin. So that therefore makes your lungs, your skin, your digestive tract, some of the most vulnerable pathways that are regularly exposed. So again, this is not something that we want to do, oh, every like couple of years, I do a cleanse. Like, this is something you want to be very real and honest about the fact that we are exposed on a very regular basis. So you may need to beef up the intensity and even the frequency of your cleansing experiences and detoxification. And there are signs of toxic overload. So if you're feeling like, oh, well, I did a cleanse last year. How would I know if I'm ready for the next one or to do another one? Or is it too soon? There are actually signs of what I spoke about internally that's going on, how it would show up externally to you as what we would call symptoms. So if you're experiencing low energy consistently, brain fog, problems remembering things, focusing, concentrating, skin eruptions even, digestive disturbances, globalized aches and pains, and various health challenges that you're just kind of like, where's this coming from? Why am I having this? It could be a sign of toxic overload. Now, the good news is that your body is naturally equipped with a very sophisticated detoxification system that have very key players that I've been talking about throughout this entire presentation. So I know we've talked about, lungs, skin, digestive tract previously, but I want to really emphasize your liver. So the liver is your body's primary detoxification organ. And it's responsible for not only processing toxins, but also metabolizing the drugs that you're taking, even the supplements that you're taking. It's involved in filtering blood from the digestive tract before it's distributed to the rest of your body. So this is something that's going on every day, whether supported or not. So it would just be in your best interest to support it and what it's doing for you every moment of every day. The same with your kidneys. The kidneys are responsible for filtering waste products, byproducts, excessive substances from the blood, toxins, and excreting it as urine. So it's doing this every day, whether supported or unsupported. It would be best to support it. Your kidneys also help to maintain your electrolyte balance and regulate blood pressure. So these are things that, okay, how would this show up for me on the outside if my kidneys were unsupported or under supported? And I mentioned lungs. We all, most of us, I should say, should know about the exchange of oxygen, carbon dioxide. Your lungs are literally expelling carbon dioxide from your body. That is a form of detoxification, but also simultaneously filtering airborne toxins and pathogens. So it's taking on those two major activities simultaneously, and that's something that should be recognized and supported. Your digestive tract, most of us know it for eliminating solid waste, but it also assists in supporting your immune function, right? Communicating about hormone balance and other things that aren't so talked about. And your skin, most of us, again, know it to be your body's largest organ. So just that by itself should warrant support. But it does serve as a barrier, in fact, your largest barrier against toxins, and also helps to eliminate toxins, specifically the water-soluble toxins, through sweat. So even while you are cleansing, increasing these lifestyle factors like your physical activity, along with the cleaner eating and the hydration, will help you get a bigger bang for your buck and a more glorified cleansing experience for these reasons. And supporting these organs ongoingly, even outside of the cleansing experience, will help with your body's internal and innate detoxification activities and pathways to just continue working for you outside of the 30 days. So just returning to the products, we have GX Assist that's also included in the 30-day cleansing kits. And this one is a very powerful one that I actually find to be most beneficial in the reset phase. And this is more of like days 11 through 20, that middle piece. So this one is really good there because it's really good at helping to create an unfriendly environment for those potential threats that we've been talking about because of this proprietary blend of very powerful herbs and oils. So it's very important that we not only are removing and fortifying and supporting, but we're also creating this environment where we are not suitable hosts for these invaders. And that's what GX assists with within the cleansing process. And before, in the beginning, I mentioned we're taking the PB Restore the whole time. So this is why synergistically this works well to follow up your GX Assist with the 10 days of the PB Restore. Now that you guys understand what's happening in each of those phases, you would understand why that would be the best move to make in order to, okay, we've gotten rid of a lot of the bad guys. Now we need to create more space and proliferate the good guys, the beneficial bacteria, to promote positive balance within your microbiome. Now, going into the Zendocrine soft gels, not to be confused with the detoxification complex. We'll talk about that in a second, but the Zendocrine soft gels, which is basically we're encapsulating the Zendocrine oil. This blend is really good at supporting all of your detoxification systems. This is one that I would definitely start out with in a cleansing situation, just to kind of jumpstart, like a sweep, like a spring cleaning of these detoxification organs, if you will, which would be the activate phase. Get them in gear, get them turned on, set the tone for the cleansing experience. And then, yes, we would follow through with the Zendocrine detoxification complex. And that's another one I would take the duration of the 30 days with your cleansing process. Because this one, yes, we've activated these detoxification pathways, but now we're taking it a step further because of the additional herbs and whole food extracts to target specific organs and speak their language directly to them and provide protection for them, cleansing for them, and enhance their filtering functions throughout the entire cleansing experience. And then the lemon essential oil, it's almost like a quiet warrior. We talk about it when it comes to cleaning things. So I know a lot of people tell me they use lemon to clean out their diffusers, to clean their kitchen countertops, but just kind of fail to realize that it can clean you out as well. So we can use lemon internally to support natural cleansing on the inside and support your digestion processes on the inside, purify you on the inside. So again, this is one I would definitely incorporate throughout the entire duration of the cleanse, because it's also very easy to consume and maintain consistency with, just, a drop in some water or tea each day to just naturally cleanse your body from head to toe internally. So this is one that I was very happy made it into the kits. And we always have to make sure that we are including a way to ensure that we are properly breaking down everything that we are taking in orally. So Terrazyme is definitely one of my favorite digestive enzyme products to take of all time, because again, the way our food is set up today in this country, you want to make sure that, yes, we're getting nutrients, that we're digesting it well, in spite of any other digestive disturbances that we may have. But also, there are other things with the nutrients in our food that's not so good, not so healthy, not so recognized by the body, that you may need assistance breaking down and digesting as well. So again, this is one that I would incorporate the entire duration of the 30-day cleansing process, just to make sure that you are breaking down these micro and macronutrients appropriately. You're digesting your proteins, your fats, your complex carbs, your sugars, your fiber, and all of the other nutrients very well, so that you can maximize your absorption and utilization of these things, to then further maximize your excretion of these things, which is the full digestive process. And this product here specifically, the Terrazyme, is very good at digesting these products because of the very active whole food enzymes that are included in the product, as well as the supporting cofactors that we're missing a lot in our food, whether it's cooked, processed, rich and riddled with preservatives or not. So even if you're just kind of like, yeah, I'm just eating plants, this is something we still need to bring on to ensure that we are not just cleansing properly and receiving our nutrients. But even outside of the cleansing process, that you're still receiving your nutrients and getting the biggest bang for your buck within your diet. And I just wanted to make sure everyone was clear on why you're taking what you're taking, when you're taking it, for how long you're taking it, the science behind it, why it was included in the first place, how this relates to foundational health, how cleansing helps you. Because for me, being a more holistic practitioner, I just wanted to leave you guys with the fact that cleansing is not just about detoxing your body. Like, it's not just limited to that. I want you to understand that it's personally one of my favorite ways to create space for healing, for clarity, and for alignment. For three main reasons. One, it reconnects you to your body's intelligence. So within just a matter of days, you begin to feel the shift. And it's not just a feeling. These are actual, like, measurable transformations. We can check your labs. Your vitals may improve. Your digestion has improved. Symptoms are going away. Things are happening. And two, it empowers intentional living. This cleansing process gives you an opportunity to slow down and listen to your body and really make those mindful choices that support your wellness overall, holistically. And lastly, it's a reset for your body. It's a reset for your whole self, again, holistically, your mind, your soul, your body. It's not always just about what you remove, it's also what you make room for. So this cleansing process is making room for new habits, for better boundaries, and for aligned wellness. So with that, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dr. Kat. That was amazing. Appreciate your excellence there. Great message, and all of us are appreciative of it. I just want to take a moment to introduce our next presenter, and it's going to be the amazing Kimberly Malusis. Kimberly, can you take a second and talk about some of the ways that you teach about these products and some of the easy and simple messages that you try to convey to your customers and people that you interact with?
Yeah, absolutely. I was so grateful for Dr. Catherine's passion for this because it's really a passion of mine as well. I was totally changed in my life because of doTERRA's cleansing program. I struggled for over 40 years with chronic eczema, cystic acne, perioral dermatitis, and I was basically told by the medical profession that I was just going to have to learn how to deal with it because it was going to be something I would always have. And I have perfectly clear skin now, and I often get comments on how at the age of 55, my skin is so healthy. And that came when I understood the importance of not just what I put on my skin, but what I put in my mouth and what I did with my body inside. So I'm very passionate about sharing this message. It's very transformative, and I want to help you to understand how to share it because it really is for every demographic, but how we share it is going to depend on the specific demographic. So let's take a look. First of all, we have our 20s to 30s. Now, this group, their needs center around their growing realization that they're starting to feel sluggish, even though they're young. And many of them are not happy with the look of their skin. Most of them are dealing with some kind of digestive issue. The women in this category are often struggling with irregular or painful periods, and they need a reset. Their concerns, though, are that they won't have enough time or money to do a cleanse, or that they're going to have to change so much about their eating habits, and that maybe feels overwhelming to them. So good messaging for this group would involve helping them to understand that how they're feeling is likely the result of some suboptimal choices that they've made, but the good news is that they can make different choices and feel much better. And your goal is going to show them how they can make simple changes to their food choices while they're doing the cleanse. Remember, some change is better than no change, and they need to be encouraged that doing a cleanse poorly even is better than not doing it at all. So, and for their concerns around simplicity, show them some simple habit stacking principles that will add the cleanse protocol to what they're already doing so they're not getting overwhelmed. For their money concerns, you can validate them, but then ask them, how much would you pay if overnight you could feel their absolute best? And it will likely be a lot more than what you're going to be at telling them that the cleanse program is, and then let them know they can invest even less money and a little bit of time, and they can feel that same way by going through a cleanse. And remember that this group does have money, and think of all the money spent on lashes and nails and technology. But the key is to show them the value of doing a cleanse. And remember, this is a perfect group to talk about that path to 500 so that they can pay for their wellness lifestyle. Okay, so now let's take a look at the 30s to 45. So in this group, we have the young moms and dads. Those are working hard to pay the bills. They're full-time into adulting. And this group, you're going to probably hear that they're stressed, not sleeping well, they're getting sick, they're feeling tired. Both men and women are often dealing with hormonal issues, digestion out of whack. They're getting a well-developed spare tire. And they do have time and money concerns, but they're often more stable. So they have some amount of financial investment that they can make, and some change is okay. They just don't want to do it alone. They worry about starting and not finishing. And so good messaging for this group would involve helping them to understand that they can make changes now that will help to feed into a vibrant, healthy future for themselves and their kids. They're going to have more energy to show up fully at work at home while being able to do the things they love in their free time. This group may really appreciate doing a group cleanse. They may also appreciate simple cleanse approved meal plans, recipes that they can make for their family members who may not be doing a cleanse so that they're not cooking multiple meals. Reminder texts will keep them on track. And they need to be reminded that they're worth investing in, and that investing in their own health will benefit everyone in their household in the long run. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the 45 to 55 group. And in this group, we're often dealing with perimenopausal symptoms, stubborn weight gain, better sleep that is what they need. They're noticing signs of aging in their skin, and they really want to go back to feeling renewed and vibrant again. Their concerns center around feeling hopeless, though. They've tried a bunch of things that they've never seemed to work, and they go to doctors, don't get help. They search online, try fad diets. It all seems to be a waste. And so messaging for this group needs to help them to feel empowered that they can look and feel different. That the symptoms that they're feeling are not just about getting older, but they're actually symptoms of not being well, and there's root causes. And the biggest is probably their gut and organ health or lack thereof. And women in this group are especially open to the anti-aging messaging. So help them to understand that no matter what treatments they decide to do to turn back the clock, they're only going to work to the extent that they have the internal strength to support that change. And that's foundational wellness, cleansing, MetaPower Advantage, all those things. And then finally, we have the 55 plus group. So this group really needs help with their cellular health, their heart health, better digestion, better sleep. Basically, they're sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. They want to be involved in their grandkids' lives, but often don't have energy, and they fear about living their later life in an old age home. So this group tends to be more stuck in their ways. And so their concerns often center around not wanting to have to change absolutely everything that they do. They get overwhelmed easily. And because they're often not feeling well, they become discouraged and then they give up. So messaging for this group should center around reminding them that it's not too late to make powerful decisions now to set themselves up for a vibrant retirement. They need to know that you're going to be supporting them along the way, that they're going to have clear instructions of exactly what to do. And it will be helpful for this group to review their current eating habits so that you can help them to see simple ways to shift their diet to be more cleanse friendly. So as you can see, cleansing is for everyone, but you need to understand the concerns of each group. And what I've given you here is general messaging, but as you take the time to really listen and understand, you can adjust your messaging for your contact's concerns. So now I'm going to encourage you. Are you ready to write down your 3 to 5 people? You can think probably of one out of each category, even as I was going over those categories. So take a few minutes, write those people down, and think of how you can transform their lives by sharing with them the powerful doTERRA cleansing program.
Kimberly, thank you very much. I also want to thank Dr. Kat and Laura. Your presentations were outstanding and and deeply appreciated. Nice job, you guys. Now is the point that we want to hear from you guys. And this is the part where you get to share your testimonials with us. And we want you to use the QR code or the website down at the bottom to record a short video. We'd love to hear what your experiences have been with the Cleanse program, and we will show them at the next segment. Also, remember that the best videos are 30 to 45 seconds, so keep it short and keep it compliant, and we look forward to hearing from you. So thank you for participating. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Laura Jacobs.
Hello again. Thank you. I love that segment. That was amazing. I'm super passionate about our Cleanse program and take those products on a regular basis. And honestly, it's a perfect segue into where we're going next with seasonal wellness. I think too often we jump to the fire per se, right? Without recognizing why is the building burning down. And when it comes to seasonal wellness, one of the very best things you could do for yourself is to enter into a detox program, not once, twice a year, 4 times a year, and just continue to keep the house cleaned out, because just like we sneeze from dust, you can put the thoughts together there for yourself. I wanted to be really empowering in this particular segment and make sure that we aren't just talking about things that we don't understand. And so I wanted to begin with just explaining what the heck is a mast cell, because we can powerfully affect them. They are our body's first responders. They are always on the lookout on our behalf for threats. And they contain these crazy little pouches, as you can see here in the illustration, full of chemical messengers. Specifically in the illustration, you can see histamine. And those messengers are meant to be mediators who come in and mediate on our behalf when something's gone awry. And so when there's the alarm going off, right, the mast cell is like, oh my gosh, something's awry, we're being invaded, then they're going to be activated. And they're concentrated in places where we're most likely to be exposed: airways, lungs, GI tract, and skin. So with that in mind, I recently watched the latest iteration of Chicken Little with my grandkids. And when I was putting this together and thinking about mast cells, I thought, it seems just like Chicken Little, right? And of course, at the end of the day, he had a legit concern, but nobody could see that. He just looked like he was an alarmist, right? And so I would like to think of our mast cells the same way, that they seem like they're overprotective, they're panicking, and yet there's probably a reason why they're responding the way they are. So what we're talking about here is sometimes our mast cells can respond in an overprotective way to something as harmless as pollen. I mean, really think about it. If someone came running to you and said, oh my gosh, there's pollen in the air, you'd be like, and? Unless, of course, you're somebody who's like, yeah, for me, that could be, really problematic. But let's consider why. So the body is sensing something that's triggering then a chemical reaction to protect us. And so what that looks like is when histamine in particular is therefore released into the body, what it's going to do is open up our blood vessels to allow fluid, proteins, and immune cells to flood our tissues, right? And the reason for that is it's trying to flood out the invasion. It's also going to increase blood flow, which will contribute to redness and warming in locations. It'll also constrict our airways and create mucus. Why? Because we're trying to close off the invasion and we're trying to excrete anything that may have entered the body through the mucus. And then it also recruits and activates other certain immune cells to help fight off, like, come on, come join the fight, and also to get involved in the repair process. So histamine is the primary mechanism then, in conclusion, behind things like itching, swelling, and a runny nose due to the above reactions to affected areas. So with that in mind, kind of summary, seasonal allergies result from an overactive immune system to harmless airborne allergens like pollen, leading to elevated levels of things like our IgE, which is an antibody that's primarily associated with allergic reactions. And then the subsequent release of mediators, most especially histamine, that amplify an inflammatory response. So then what's our goal? What are we solving for here? We're looking to support our immune system in having different responses by helping to calm down this overreactive state and to support our body's ability to process and eliminate these inflammatory influences. So it's my call today to, again, reintroduce to you our incredible foundational wellness bundle, each of the products, and then orient us, just as Dr. Kat did, towards how they serve us and helping us solve for seasonal wellness. So the first product of emphasis here is our VMG. And, I could take all day and just talk about 92 ingredients, but we're just going to focus on a few in particular and emphasize the fact that this particular product is radically nutrient dense, which is really in our favor. So with ingredients like turmeric, elderberry, and pine bark extract, these phytonutrients can help us temper these inflammatory pathways, help us support a more balanced relationship with our histamine, and also support our cellular resistance in the face of allergens. So in particular, if we were to unpack or look under the hood at turmeric, for example, one of the critical compounds we're all familiar with is curcumin, and specifically it helps to reduce the release of histamine. Now, I know there's people out there who are like, oh my gosh, I think I have some new best friends, right? Like, you want to stabilize your mast cells. You don't want Chicken Little ringing the bell, right? All the time. And so studies show significant reduction in symptoms that things like rhinitis, right? And help improve nasal flow simply with this beautiful compound that exists within turmeric. Another example is pine bark extract. It's rich in proanthocyanidins, and this extract reduces histamine release. Well, there we go again, like bring it on. It helps to reduce oxidative stress, and it helps to support our respiratory health during these seasons. A double-blind study found, again, that it helped to reduce these kind of respiratory responses during these kinds of seasons. Now, we're not going to camp here too long, but just again, I'm really making a case for the fact that our VMG is radically cool. You give me a problem, you give me a challenge, you give me a compromise, whatever, we got an ingredient or 25 for you. And so just look at this. In an allergy-induced stress environment, one of the things that's going to also elevate is free radical damage. That's not something we're interested in because that can cause all kinds of additional compromises. So your VMG is absolutely stunningly loaded with antioxidant-rich fruits and vegetables. So that's going to be in your favor to help mitigate that kind of escalation. Gut health. You have 4 clinically studied probiotic strains within the VMG, specifically alongside of digestive enzymes that are also crucial in reducing the likelihood, that's interesting, and the intensity of these kind of allergic responses. And then lastly, you have essential oils and adaptogens that help reduce the stress response, because when we're in a greater stress state, we're actually weakened in our immune system capacity, and that will also worsen our seasonal responses. So ingredients like holy basil, along with several other adaptogenic ingredients and oils like lavender, peppermint, and wild orange, they're all calming and will help us have, again, a different response. Our second product for seasonal support, of course, is our omegas as another major component of our foundational wellness bundle. It's, of course, known with its EPA and DHA ingredients to help the body have healthy inflammatory responses, which are critical during these reactive states because it helps to modulate how the immune cells are going to function. Because remember, the bell's ringing and then all the other parts of the body are like, oh my gosh, there's an emergency. We all need to go to the cause. So it's like, let's calm this down and put it into a more of a reasonable state. And again, promote this positive inflammatory wellness. And of course, with the wild orange in there, it's going to help benefit us as well in a number of bodily functions that we want to be on their game. And then lastly, for our PB Restore, for this particular topic of seasonal allergy support, a balanced microbiome. Hello, as if we haven't heard that enough already in our doTERRA world, this has come up in conversation how many times since convention and the previous convention when we were introduced to our PB Restore. Like, this cannot be emphasized enough. If you've grown a deaf ear to the topic of a healthy gut, keep your ears open, because once again, and now as we start to tie these products into situational experiences, one being seasonal, then again, let's lift our ears and be like, oh, wow, you mean if I use this product, it's going to help me have a better experience with seasonal responses? And the answer is clearly yes. So once again, the ingredients we mentioned at the top, the prebiotics, the probiotics, the bacteriophages, the postbiotics, each of them have particular roles in helping you to have a better experience. For one, probiotics can inhibit your pro-inflammatory cytokines. Cytokines kind of became more of our vocabulary back in days like 2020, like suddenly everybody was talking about cytokines. Well, they can be an issue, and to mitigate these exaggerated responses is such a gift. The bacteriophages, remember the janitors at the end of the textile day, they are there to clean up the whole environment so that harmful gut bacteria are not prevalent and are not stressing out and reducing your immunity. I think you get the drift. And then lastly, just a very detailed slide on 3 different strains, because we have a lot, right? We have many species. We have over 20 species and strains within our PB Restore product. But just an emphasis here for you to see that one of those, just one, can bring about such support when it comes to our ability to have seasonal wellness, and how each of these, and there's tons of research indicating how supportive they can be. Anything from balancing our gut flora to enhancing our immune response or boosting that response is all something that correlates with seasonal wellness. So I hope, once again, if nothing else, you're doing your foundational wellness products, and it isn't that they are a side choice, they are a foundational choice. And when you put the matter in your body, along with the messaging or the patterning that comes to you through essential oils, you have magic. Thank you, Eric.
You are welcome, Laura. Thank you very much. And now we get to hear from we go from Laura to Lauren Bush. So, Lauren, are you there? Go ahead and take it away.
I'm here. Okay, guys. So I'm sure some of you might be a little bit surprised as you're sitting here and you're listening to Laura and you're like, wait, we're talking about seasonal changes and we're talking about foundational wellness. And the answer is yes. That's always where we're going to start. You're going to see that trend as we move through each of the targeted solutions. We are going to start with foundational wellness, no matter what the challenges we're teaching our customers to overcome. But that doesn't mean that we don't have some heavy hitters that we want to add in addition to that. You're like, oh yeah, duh, this is usually the product that I talk to my customers about. So when it comes to those seasonal challenges, Breathe is an obvious choice. And obviously we have an entire line of Breathe products. When we hone things in on a targeted solution, we try to choose 2 additional products that pack the biggest punch. Now that doesn't mean that when you're working with someone that's like, oh my goodness, the cottonwood trees let loose this morning, I want to claw my eyes out, what should I do? It doesn't mean that you are able to offer multiple Breathe products, but confusion will ruin the ability for you to clearly tell someone what their routine should look like. It'll ruin the sale for you. So 2 products, and then if that's not enough support, we can reach for additional ones, right? So the one that we're leaning into for this specific targeted solution is our Breathe Stick. And the reason why is this is applicable for every member of the family. When we put it on, it stays put. So when we use our essential oils that are not combined with fractionated coconut oil like they are in the Touch, they kind of flash off. They go into the air, which is really great for somebody who's diffusing, or we're putting it on our air filter in our home. That's a hack in our home. When springtime hits, Breathe oil is going on our air filters. But for little ones, for adults, when we put it on the chest, because of the amazing delivery system it's in, it stays put. It's there. It's helping support all day long. They're able to rub it right underneath of their nose, and you get all the benefits of Breathe. So opening and expanding everything up. And it's there. It's staying put all day long. Then we have 3 amazing oils. Now I'll tell you, in our household, we have some different combinations. My younger ones in the household, they like reaching for some honey and lavender, lemon, and peppermint. My husband will do that additionally, but the older ones all reach for Tri-Ease. And so focusing in on Tri-Ease, there's 3 oils that are in Tri-Ease. So lemon, if you remember nothing else about lemon oil, this is breaking all the thickness up. So like Laura mentioned, when your body is reacting, it's trying to provide this layer of protection, and we end up with a lot of extra mucus. So we want to be able to clear it out. So when we hear clearing, clarifying, breaking things down, that's lemon's job. Is it saying, hey, you overreacted, Chicken Little. We're going to clean out this extra that you thought you were protecting, but now you're restricting the airways, and we need some things to move on through. Then we have our lavender, and this is the calm down. It's just pollen. What are you doing? Why are you reacting this way, immune system? So we know lavender is all things calming. And it's not just calming because we got worked up because of something emotional. It's not just because our skin is overreacting to something. It's also when our immune system is like running around screaming about flowers. Like, calm down, immune system. Remember what we were programmed to do. We're able to do this job. We're able to handle these seasonal changes. Don't overreact to it. And then I want to remind you guys, if you have not visited lately, the doTERRA difference, if you would like to see a research article from the Journal of Pharmaceutical and Biomedical Analysis, they prove that 2/3 of lavender on the market are contaminated or of inferior quality, and that the study actually recognized doTERRA's lavender as the highest quality and the gold standard for which all other lavender oils should be measured. So when we talk about lavender's ability, when you mess with the chemistry, it becomes perfume. It cannot communicate with your immune system in the way that we just talked about. I also want to highlight peppermint. So we have Breathe, and Breathe is just such a beautiful blend of oils that all speak really clearly to the immune system in different ways to relax and allow air in. Peppermint, on the other hand, when things are a little swollen, it's helping the circulation kind of move through so things don't build up and tissues don't become swollen. So I love peppermint. Again, it's additional. It opens things up. It works amazing on smooth muscle. You have smooth muscle in your digestive tract, but you also have it in your respiratory tract. And key here, going back to what Laura just taught you guys on foundational wellness, anytime the respiratory system's involved, typically it was led on by the digestive system. So we always start with supporting a healthy digestive system. It results in a healthy respiratory system. So loving the power of being able to deliver 3 amazing oils in Tri-Ease. For some of you, you might find that you love the combo of the 3 oils with, again, some local raw honey as an additional level to support. I'm sure each of you have little hacks that you've taught to your own family and customers along the way when it's come to springtime, but those 3 oils, Breathe Oil and our Foundational Wellness, and you're going to see amazing things happen for your customers when it comes to those seasonal transitions. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Lauren. Appreciate you sharing that with us. You need a lot of lavender in your home with all of the kids that you have. I mean, I love the picture that you have with your entire team right there. We now have the opportunity to listen to Dr. Ruth Goth, who is a Blue Diamond wellness advocate. And Ruth, take it away.
Awesome. Well, Eric, I'm very excited to share with all of us here today ways that we can take all of this incredible information that we've just gathered and share it with 4 key demographics to really help them understand the value of what it is that we have to offer when it comes to doTERRA wellness and seasonal threats. So first of all, let's talk about 20 to 30-year-olds. These are folks who have active lifestyles and are going to be in the face of airborne sensitivities, whether they're hitting the trails, engaging in late night study sessions, hiking the mountains, or working or partying in the city streets. This age group is going to face constant environmental exposure. It shows up for them as sniffles, congestion, brain fog, and especially breakouts. So seasonal threats, they are, as we just learned, an inflammatory overreaction, and Tri-Ease soft gels were designed for this exactly. The trio of lavender, lemon, and peppermint together work synergistically like nature's antihistamine, calming mast cell chaos without druggy side effects that none of our 20 to 30-year-olds want. The Breathe Stick and Breathe Oil, these are gym bag MVPs. They can clear, cool, refresh instantly and leave no greasy feel or no chemical ick that people are so tired of. When they pair it with foundational wellness, they're going to get the nutrients, the essential fatty acids, and the gut support that teach our immune system to respond more calmly and not overreact. So when we're talking to 20 to 30-year-olds, we want to talk to them about breathing better, focusing longer, recovering faster, and having clear, glowing, beautiful skin. These are high priorities for people in this demographic, and the seasonal threats bundle along with our foundational wellness bundle are going to be exactly what they need to meet them exactly where they're at. When we talk about Our next demographic, 30 to 45-year-olds, they are people who are busy. They're juggling wellness, work, and kids. This group is trying to balance it all. Okay, the job, school, pickups, never-ending to-do lists. Their immune systems are often running on fumes. We need to be able to clearly and quickly identify for them how these products are going to solve their problems. When you add in the environmental sensitivities that they are exposed to regularly, you're going to see a lot of sinus congestion, energy crashes, and chronic irritation that people are looking for solutions for. So the Tri-Use soft gels are going to offer a gentle and effective way to dial back immune overreaction, calming their histamine responses before they spiral without making them tired and groggy, which I don't know a single 30 to 45-year-old who has time for tired and groggy. It's a daily relief without fog or dryness that antihistamines can give. The Breathe Vapor Stick is perfect for the whole family. And I don't know about you, but I love to have Swiss Army knives type products in my bag that can be perfectly helpful for me, for my kids, for the person sitting next to me at the basketball game. And that's what the Breathe Vapor Stick can be. It's portable, it's powerful, it's made with cardamom, eucalyptus, thyme, so many wonderful things that are going to soothe their airways on the go. And then add that in with the foundational wellness bundle, VMG Plus, E Omega Plus, and Restore, to do the hard work behind the scenes to get to the root cause of why environmental triggers are often so stressful for people in this age bracket. We're going to talk to them about restoring their nutrient stores, reducing inflammation, optimizing their gut. And it's not about survival. It's about vibrant energy, strong immunity, and full capacity living. And that's what we're going to talk to people in the 30 to 45 age group with. When we're talking to people in the 45 to 55 year age gap, we're going to talk about navigating midlife transitions and sensitivities. So this age group is experiencing shifts in their hormones, rising inflammation, and growing awareness of how the environment is deeply impacting their body, from itchy eyes and brain fog to full-blown sinus overload. Seasonal inflammation is real and it's exhausting. So we're going to meet them right where they're at with Tri-Use, which has targeted botanical relief that keeps mast cells calm and resilient. And then the Breathe Stick with cooling, clearing effects that are super, super safe and effective and very elegant. No pills, no sprays, no drowsy aftermath. Just take your Breathe Stick with you and you will be able to breathe and think clearly. And then for their body to get to that root cause, again, foundational wellness. VMG Plus is going to support nutrient absorption even when their digestive system at this age is all over the place and starting to slow down. E Omega Plus is going to reduce inflammatory cytokines, and PB Restore is going to restore microbiome balance, which is going to get to the very root cause of why some people have or are more sensitive to environmental triggers. These tools are going to empower them to feel clear, strong, and balanced no matter what's blooming outside. And that's the message that we need to hit home with them. And then finally, our 55-year-old plus are active in their golden years with immune confidence. For this demographic, comfort, independence, and vitality are absolutely top of mind, but sensitivity to pollen and dust and pollutants can slow them down. Add that to the naturally aging immune system, and you've got a perfect storm of runny noses, fatigue, inflammation. Tri-Use is going to be the natural answer with essential oils that support respiratory comfort and without any side effects. The Breathe Stick is going to be a quick relief tool that soothes the chest, clears the senses, and enhances breathing capacity, whether walking grandkids or enjoying their garden. And the secret weapon that's going to hit this into a home run is going to be the foundational wellness with VMG Plus to nourish immune function at the cellular level, E Omega Plus to strengthen the mucosal barrier and dampen unnecessary inflammation, and PB Restore to teach the gut to filter out what's safe and to respond with wisdom and elegance. The result that they're going to see, and the thing that you have got to make sure that they understand, is that with this bundle, they are going to experience confidence, clarity, and seasonal seasons full of movement and freedom. And that's going to be really important to them. So what is important to us is making sure that we take everything that we've just learned and actually do something with it. You now know the science, you felt the impact, and you know why it's important. And so our invitation to you is write down, I want you to choose someone from each of those demographics that we just chose. People who have come to mind, write down their names. Pick someone from each of the age groups, someone who's sniffling through the seasons, missing sleep from sinus issues, or living on allergy medications. We all know these people, and then send them the message. If I were texting someone right now, I'd say, hey, you just came to mind. I just learned something powerful about how to support your body during allergy season naturally. Can I share it with you? The tools are gentle, they're proven, they're powerful, and they're so needed. And so it's time for us to share.
Thanks, Ruth. I appreciate you sharing that. I needed Trice this last weekend. I was chasing my granddaughters around the soccer field, and Trice was a home run hitter for me. It was a great product. One of the things that we want to do is we want to announce the cleanse winners. And Jackson, I think you're going to play the videos after I announce, correct? And the names are Dion Liarakos, Ramonita Maldonado, and Melinda Nichols. And so, Jackson, I'm going to turn it over to you to play their slides. And when they're done, I'm going to turn it over to, I believe it is Jared Auger, our Executive Vice President of Education over at doTERRA. So, Jackson, take it away.
I just wanted to say that when I did a cleanse, now, I don't know, 5 years ago, that it changed my life. I gained great clarity of thought, energy, positive attitude, and I stuck with the LLV after that. And now, of course, I've now switched to the VMG. I feel great, and I share this with my friends and family and anyone else that would like to listen, because I really believe in the products and I really believe in how they made me feel. Thank you for the opportunity to share this.
Hi, so I've been doing the cleanse consistently, super consistently for. Hello, guys.
Jackson, thanks for the one. Should we turn it over? We'll do those in just a second. We'll do the other two, and let's turn it over to Jared. And let's go ahead and take a second, Jared, and you're on. So thank you for presenting today. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. And I love those testimonials, and I know Jackson will get those running. He'll get those flips, so he'll get them going for us. And I want to thank all the presenters before, and also thank everybody who's joined with us today. You're taking steps within your health to make it better. And not even just you, you're making others better along the way. And I love the chat. So say hi in the chat. Let's keep the discussion going there. I've really enjoyed listening to the chat today. But today I get to talk about digestion. And maybe I'll ask for you to put something else in the chat today. How many of you know someone who has or could use some digestive support in their life? I know a lot of people who need that. In fact, there's a few numbers out there, and I think that they're actually underreported. Some of the numbers say 60 to 70 million people have some sort of diagnosed issue within the United States, digestive issue. Other numbers say 2/3 of people have symptoms of digestive challenges. I would guess that it's even higher than that. So everybody in there saying, yep, several, yes, me and others. I love it. We all know a lot of people who need some digestive support. And what I love about today is also that there's a pattern. You're seeing today that we always are starting with foundational supplements as part of the solution. And then we add in a few other things. So today I get to talk about the left side of this slide, where VMG, PB Restore, and E Omega. And we've got the wonderful Dr. Chris Spellman, who's going to talk about PB Assist and Digestion. And I love that it's Dr. Spellman doing that today, because our digestive system starts where? In our mouth. And that is his area of expertise. So let's dig in a little bit on why VMG, E Omega, and PB Restore would be important for our digestive health. First of all, you know VMG. We've talked about this already. Whole food support. Healthy digestive, helps create a healthy digestive system. We're talking about the probiotics that are in the VMG, the prebiotic fibers, the essential oils. We're going to talk about all of these components, well, at least a few of these components today in the few minutes that I have, all of which contribute to long-term digestive wellness, which is what we're all looking for. So let's dig in a little bit and get maybe specific. And I'm going to talk about two areas of VMG where they actually promote a healthy gut. First of all, are those probiotics. Now, they've listed a few of the species there, or the species of probiotics that are within VMG. Now, we know about probiotics. We know about the bacteria. These are going to help restore healthy gut flora alongside the other healthy activities that we're doing. You know, making sure that we're taking care of and eating the right foods. All of those things are going to contribute here. But a balanced gut microbiome ensures smooth digestion. It makes sure that things continue to move through. Because that's the whole job of the digestive system. Let's put the fuel in. Let's digest it. Let's break it down. Let's use the bacteria, all of our trillions of friends that we have within our body. Let's break it down and help us absorb what we need and get rid of what we don't need. And that's how we're supporting our immune health as well, which we're going to get into a little bit later. One of my favorite parts about VMG is the essential oil blend: ginger, peppermint, lavender, lemongrass, and wild orange. Now, we typically are talking about these in the context of how do they support absorption. You know, we've talked about the absorption of the vitamins, the minerals, and other cofactors, and how the essential oils boost that. But it's also a big part of the digestive health. These oils are very familiar. Ginger, we all know what it can do. We've all used ginger for, well, we've used ginger for quite a long time, but it's been used for thousands of years. Part of what its job is to do is stimulate gastric emptying. Again, keeping things moving through. It helps to break down food and also preventing digestive discomfort. We talk about peppermint, another oil or another product that we've used for thousands of years to help with digestion, reducing bloating, relieving cramps. You heard Lauren talk about the smooth muscle tissue. Wow, that was hard to say. Smooth muscle tissue, and how it can help reduce some of the cramping that's associated with that. Lavender, and I love this part about it. Lavender and how that impacts our digestion. There was a study in 2014 where, and some of you may have heard me tell this before. In 2014, they studied people who ate a certain amount of food and another group who ate that same amount of food, but was introduced to a stressor, some sort of stress at the time of eating. And the group that had the stress actually stored 104 calories of that food. That was the cost of the stress. So I love thinking about the lavender in this VMG. Again, all of the other wonderful benefits that it has, but also from that stressor standpoint, we know lavender does a great job in reducing stress-related digestive issues, or I guess just stress issues in general. It can also help stress-related digestive issues. So I love that part about it. And then you have obviously the wonderful lemongrass, wild orange peel oil that help promote that healthy gut function and reduce that discomfort as well. Now, if we transition into the next product, E Omegas. Now, this is kind of a summary slide of some of the things that it can do. We're going to talk about the EPA and DHA. We're going to talk about the wild orange oil, but let's get into some of the details of that here. First, EPA. Now, EPA is one of the powerful agents or components within the essential oil, or sorry, the omega blend, and this one's all about healthy inflammatory response. When we talk about our gastrointestinal tract, we talk about it in terms of there's a cell lining there. And when that cell lining gets disrupted for a myriad of reasons, gaps can form in these cells, and that allows the wrong things to go through. And what EPA does, and in fact, even DHA, the second point in here, it helps to ensure the integrity of that intestinal barrier, to ensure that those gaps stay strong and that it's letting through the right things and it's not letting through the wrong things. And that's again where that inflammation comes and our bodies start going. And I love Laura Jacobs talks about this, the firefighters going out. That's when it needs to dispatch all the firefighters and going to all these areas. And we lose some of the effective functions of the body when they're dealing with all this inflammation, and which is all a result from a bad, dysfunctional gut lining. And the E omega plus is a wonderful support to ensuring that that stays strong. Now, an obvious answer within the foundational wellness supplements is PB Restore for healthy digestion. We know all about this, and I'm only going to call out a couple things here because we already know a lot about this. We know how important probiotics are to have a healthy digestive system. But what I also love about PB Restore is it isn't just digestive issues. Digestive probiotics. They are strains for the entire body to ensure that they are all functioning right so that we can put the energy in the right places. I love that there are 22 different species with 24 different active cultures and 18 billion colony forming units. This promotes gut microbial diversity and also helps us again to break down the right food. And sometimes the food, well, many of the times the food that we eat can't be properly digested unless we have this bacteria. So it is crucial that we have the right balance of these microbes as well, which is also the other function of PB Restore, is it can help us maintain the right balance with the right prebiotics as well as bacteriophages. So the prebiotics, or the fructooligosaccharides, FOS is what we call it. So this is just a prebiotic. It's the food. It's the food for beneficial bacteria, helping them to thrive and to form those colonies within our digestive tract. And then we have the bacteriophages, and this is something that's super unique to us. We're not seeing a lot of products out there that have all of these elements that we have within PB Restore. This is why we believe it is the best probiotic product out there. Now, bacteriophages can actually reduce the number of harmful bacteria because, yes, we are going to be consuming good bacteria along with bad bacteria. And unfortunately, sometimes we feed the bad bacteria with the carbohydrates, the refined sugars, the processed foods. The bad bacteria really thrives on that. And these bacteriophages can help reduce the number of those harmful bacteria and keep them really in balance. Now, again, I'm excited to partner in this conversation with Dr. Chris Spellman, and I'm going to turn it over to him to have him go through the targeted solution to help us all with our digestion.
All right. Let's see. Thank you, Jared. So I'm really looking forward to this. Digestion is such an important issue, and I really feel like it's the foundation of the foundations. So thank you for going through the VMG and the omegas and the PB Restore. And really, I'm just going to parry off of that and share some more information with you on the Digestion oil and also on the PB Assist Plus. So let's see. There we go. So our digestive system, which I'm sure all of you are aware of, is made up of the hollow organs, starting with the mouth, which some would say is one of the most important parts of our entire body, continuing to the esophagus and the stomach, into the small and large intestines, then out through the anus. The accessory organs that we talk about with the digestive system would be the teeth and the tongue and the salivary glands, and then the solid organs of the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. So what we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the DigestZen oil specifically. Now, really quickly, I want to share with you guys over my almost 25 years of practice, I've seen the number of digestive issues in the general population just absolutely skyrocket. So I know you guys had said before that you knew several people in your world, in your circle of influence, that were struggling with digestive issues, and I've seen that become more and more of a problem. So I want you to understand that with doTERRA, we have answers for these people that are struggling so badly. And some things that we're going to show you are going to be more of like an interventionary or a short-term solution. And then obviously some other things are more foundational long-term solutions. DigestZen kind of falls into a category of both. It can be an interventionary thing to get you out of trouble, but it can also be a long-term support because some people frankly just need it for the long term. So the DigestZen blend itself is comprised of the oils of peppermint and cardamom and coriander, ginger, caraway, fennel, and anise. On the previous slide, it also talked about where some of these oils come from. So that is a product information page. If you want more information on that, I definitely encourage you to go and look that up on the doTERRA website. A lot of great information there. This oil blend has been updated. They have increased the proportions of the peppermint, ginger, and coriander so that they play a more prominent role in the chemistry. And they have added cardamom, which was not in there previously. So on this slide, what I want you guys to see is the different oils obviously are on the left in the blue. And on the right-hand side of each one of these lines, you see something in boldface, the menthol, the linalool, gingerol, and etc. So those are oils that comprise some of the dominant chemistry of each one of these oils. And when people research the oils, they tend to look for the dominant chemistry and then see if that's what kind of drives the whole oil. What I want you to think of with these oils is each oil itself is a symphony, and all the instruments and all the voices work together to make beautiful music. The dominant chemistry is really more of a soloist. Okay, so a soloist is great, but on its own isn't going to do much for you. It's in the context of the symphony that we see the magic. So when we talk about peppermint, a lot of people like to talk about menthol, but I like to talk about peppermint being in the context of a whole bunch of other oils, or constituent oils that make up the broad symphony. So when I do my research now, I typically tend to look up the botanical name, like a Mentha piperita for peppermint, and look that up under through like Google Scholar or something like that to find the articles, because I want to see what these oils are doing in context with each other, with all the constituents working together as nature designed, and as we are supposed to be interacting with them. So not only do we have individual symphonies, now in this oil, we have symphonies that are combining to make a mega symphony. And it's really amazing what these oils can do together to support and help each other to work in an even more powerful way. So peppermint, we can use for occasional stomach upset, for occasional feelings of nausea. It really helps to calm things down. I will say feelings of nausea, your magic combination is going to be peppermint, ginger, and cardamom. And all three of them are present in this oil. And that's no surprise. So you look at an oil like coriander, why would we add that? Well, coriander can be cleansing. It also helps to maintain the overall health of the digestive or gastrointestinal tract. Ginger, again, supports general digestive health in addition to helping calming the feelings of nausea. Caraway can help ease flatulence. I'm sure we all know people in our lives that may struggle with that from time to time. So this is another way that we can help to calm that down. And it also acts as an overall tonic to the digestive system. Cardamom supports the general function of our GI tract and aids in digestive function. Fennel helps to relieve some occasional discomfort that we have during digestion. And then anise has a soothing scent of black licorice, and it has potent digestive benefits to it as well. So again, using all of these together is going to help our digestive system find its happy medium. So many people are dealing with a myriad of digestive issues, and when we approach them with complementary oils like this, it's going to help them to find that homeostasis again that so many are struggling with and we need so badly. So I'd encourage you to also put in the chat, if you've been impacted by this oil, make sure that you're putting that in the chat to let other people know the power of this oil and how it can help so many people. So we're going to go on to the next slide here. Right. So how are we going to use the Digestion oil? First, you're going to think about rubbing it on your stomach, and you can do this in a massaging way. I would suggest you always dilute this oil. Use it in a carrier oil like either your fractionated coconut oil or your jojoba oil, whatever you normally use to dilute the oil, use that. And then put it on your stomach. Now, I have heard from many, many people, if you are dealing with a digestive system, now your normal digestion through your intestines before you eliminate is going in a clockwise direction. So if you are dealing with a slower digestive system where things are getting backed up, rubbing this in a clockwise direction can encourage you to move things through a little bit quicker. If you are dealing with a digestive system that is rocket fast, you rub it in the opposite direction. You rub it in a counterclockwise direction on your stomach, and that can help to slow things down. So again, it's just another way of directly activating the nerves in sequence on the surface of your skin, which can communicate with the insides as well. So diffusing this either in a diffuser or putting it on a scarf or a neck pillow, it's a really calming scent. It can be a very powerful scent too, with the peppermint and also with the fennel. These are very, very potent oils. So not everybody loves to diffuse them or have them really close by. For the people that struggle with the scent of black licorice, because I know there are people that struggle with this, I still want you to use this oil, but what I want you to do is to dilute it and put it on the bottoms of your feet. You still can benefit from this oil. It's something that you shouldn't avoid. We want you to use it. If you like the scent of it, which I would say a majority of us do, then again, feel free to use that on the abdomen. You can even apply it to pulse points on your wrists or on your neck. And then again, you can inhale it directly from the bottle as well. Excuse me, as well, especially for issues like motion sickness or just general feelings of nausea. Someone also in the chat put that they like to use Tamer, and Tamer is going to have many of the similar benefits. Little different scent to it. Doesn't have as much of that licorice scent. It's more of a spearminty scent. So again, feel free to experiment with that as well. It's a great substitute for this one. And I see all kinds of testimonials coming through on this one. That's great. Okay, so we're going to get over the next slide here. It's cooperating. Having a little bit of an issue with advancing that. So, okay, here we go. We're going to talk about the PB Assist Plus. Now, there's a lot of confusion with PB Assist Plus, which used to be called PB Assist Junior. A lot of people think that this is just for kids. This is not a product that is just for kids. This is actually complementary to the PB Restore that we were talking about before. So you're going to hear a lot of the same things throughout today. And PB Restore, obviously, you've heard from Jared and from Laura and from Dr. Kat about the PB Restore and the power of that. I want to show you how this can come alongside the use of PB Restore on a regular basis and complement it. This one, so with the PB Restore, like Jared was just explaining, that's really targeted towards your overall microbiome of your entire body. It's for the gut, it's for the mouth, it's for the respiratory system. It's really a total body microbiome complex. The PB Assist Plus is really targeted just at the gut bacteria. And again, it comes alongside a product like PB Restore to give us even more diversity. And diversity is important in our microbiome. We've seen that there's at least 1,500 different species of bacteria that are present in the gut. So giving it more diversity is going to make us more resilient for the long term and give us an overall digestive experience. Now, with the gut too, I want to explain it's not about digesting food alone and interacting with the food that we eat, but a healthy gut is going to lead to a healthy brain, a healthy immune system, and healthy skin, which doesn't get nearly enough attention. A lot of people that are struggling with brain fog issues, with skin issues, with immune system issues, actually have a very dysbiotic gut, and their symptoms could be relieved just by addressing the microbiome itself. So again, back to the foundations, make sure that they are supported, because if you ignore them, it is going to be to your detriment. You're going to be chasing symptoms, which we don't want to do. We want to make sure that we're supporting the foundations all the way through. And we'll go to the next slide here. All right, so let's talk about some of the key bacteria that are present in this. The PB Assist Plus has 13 different species of bacteria, and we're just going to highlight 3 of them for you. So The Lactobacillus rhamnosus, you've heard before from some of the other slides. It's one of the most researched probiotic strains. It's known for helping to balance the good and bad bacteria in the gut. So it's not about necessarily just the numbers of bacteria you have. It is what are their proportions and how they are interacting as part of an ecosystem. And this Lactobacillus, this particular one, is going to help to provide that healthy balance. It's also going to help to strengthen the gut barrier, which we're going to talk about a little bit more a couple of slides ahead. So it's going to make it harder for these harmful bacteria to penetrate through and cause problems. Lactobacillus plantarum is great at reducing gas and bloating because it's going to help you break down food more effectively. So this also produces metabolites that fight off bad bacteria, which is going to help with overall gut health. And then the last one we're going to highlight is this Bifidobacterium lactis. And this one is excellent at helping the body digest fiber. And that's going to improve your overall bowel regularity and can prevent occasional constipation. This one is also helpful in just supporting a healthy immune response and making the gut more resistant to the harmful bacteria. So this is going to help improve the lining of the gut, and we're going to talk a little bit more about how fiber is going to play a role in that too. Okay. So taking this product is going to help you to support a healthy digestive and immune system at any age. Now, there's been a lot of talk over the last few years about our immune systems and how we're going to protect and support the immune system with products like the On Guard family of products, which are awesome at doing that. But even more foundationally, if we want to have a healthy immune response, we have to be supporting a healthy balance of bacteria in the gut. It's also going to help us to support optimal metabolism and nutrient absorption. So we have talked a lot about supplements like VMG, about the omegas. If our gut lining is inflamed, if it's disrupted, if there's dysbiosis in our gut, we aren't going to be processing and absorbing those things properly. So if we really want them to be impactful, taking products like PB Restore, PB Assist Plus are absolutely critical in making sure that we have the ability to process, absorb, and utilize all of those wonderful supplements that are so important to each one of us. So again, there's 13 probiotic strains, and there is one prebiotic fiber. We're going to call it FOS. They're fructooligosaccharides. We like to call them FOSs, just a lot easier. If we don't have enough fiber in our diet, the bacteria in our gut need fiber for food, right? If we don't have enough fiber in the diet, these bacteria have to eat something. So what they do is they start to eat you. What I mean by that is our mucous membrane, the mucous membrane lining of our digestive tract has something coating it called mucin. That's what makes it slippery. Okay, those are glycoproteins, and it's what makes the mucous membrane actually slip around and slide and allows the food to slide through. So if our bacteria don't have enough fiber to eat, they will start to eat away that mucin protective lining. And then we have bacteria that can get in contact with that very thin layer of cells that Jared was talking about, causing inflammation and disruption and gap formation, leading to things like leaky gut. So maintaining the integrity of that lining is important in two regards with the fiber. So the fiber is going to feed the bacteria so they don't feed on mucin, but having several different types of the fiber itself, both insoluble and soluble fiber, will help to produce a coating over that mucin and help to support a healthy mucin layer and protect it so that things aren't breaking down and those cells aren't being exposed to inflammatory mediators. So these granules that are in this stick, and if you haven't tried this, the taste is absolutely phenomenal. So everybody should be taking this on a regular basis, from little ones all the way up. This is for all age groups. Have microencapsulated probiotic strains to deliver them efficiently to the lower digestive tract. Why is that important? So many probiotic products on the market are not enteric coated, which means when you eat them, they go into your stomach acid, and the stomach acid is going to kill off a massive number of them before they even get a chance to go down into your lower digestive tract and colonize. So having a coating on them to protect them from that stomach acid so they can get through and then break open where they're supposed to be and then thrive is absolutely critical. And we have come up with a microencapsulation process to protect these bacteria. And this one also does not contain gluten. I see all kinds of testimonials coming through too. You guys are awesome. So yeah, definitely keep that up. So again, with the unique double layer capsule technology, so this is the double layer capsule is the same that's in the PB Restore. And again, this is going to help it to survive the stomach acid. Now, some people have said that they have a trouble taking pills, so they can't take the PB Restore, and they've asked, can I just cut the pill open and take it? Again, you're losing that the integrity of that double capsule, which is helping it to survive the stomach acid. So you're losing most of the effectiveness. That's why we have a product like this for people that cannot take pills or really struggle taking pills. They can take something like this, which will at least give them a leg up on establishing a healthy gut microbiome, as well as eating foods that are rich in probiotics themselves. So think about fermented foods coming alongside this to complement these things, because we always like to talk about how your diet is going to complement what you're doing with your supplements. Look for the fermented foods, which are as simple as sauerkraut and pickles, but can also be things like kefir, kimchi, kombucha. There's a whole broad array, and we should be taking a very diverse approach to our diet to make sure that we are, again, feeding this microenvironment in our gut to make sure that everything stays on the level so that we can live better and have a better response to all the challenges that are coming our way. So I want to thank you guys for your time. Thank you for showing up, and thank you again for all your chats, and look forward to meeting you guys in person soon.
Dr. Spielman, thank you for the great information and your wonderful presentation. Ruth, can you talk a little bit about how you use these products to reach the different demographics that you're teaching and the different people that you have in your organization?
Absolutely, Eric. Let's start with our 20 to 30-year-olds who are dealing with stress and late night meals and experimental eating trends that have left them feeling bloated and foggy and frustrated. Here's the truth. The gut is their control center for their skin and energy and mood. So when you introduce them to VMG Plus, you're going to be gifting them clinical grade probiotics and prebiotic fiber and essential oils like ginger and wild orange that reduce bloating and smooth their digestion, especially during stressful transitions, which happen a lot during this decade. Then we have E-Omega Plus, which strengthens the gut-brain connection and calms inflammatory flares, and PB Restore and PB Assist Plus, which work together synergistically to deliver the microbial diversity that they desperately need, along with the prebiotics and postbiotics to help keep it all balanced. And then add in Digestion to offer fast, natural relief, even when not making the most optimal choices or when having anxiety. And it hits their stomach hard. So the take-home message for our 20 to 30-year-olds is that this is gut care that works from finals week to the first job.
Hi, everybody.
Cleaner, smarter, and way more effective than random TikTok trends. Then let's talk about our 30 to 45-year-olds. Here we recognize that this span of life is a time when life just feels nonstop. Between hormonal shifts and multitasking burnout and parenting chaos, the gut starts waving a white flag. Irregularity and food reactions and brain fog start to feel like a new normal. So VMG Plus is going to be important for this age group because it supports digestive function with soothing oils and enzyme-supported botanicals. The apple fiber and sunflower lectin enhance regularity with nutrient uptake, which can be especially helpful when meals are rushed or skipped. We're going to introduce E-Omega Plus to this age group because it's going to deliver the omegas that calm the gut's inflammatory response and heal the intestinal lining, which is the foundational tool for hormone balance and focus that are so important when we're 30 to 45. PB Restore is an ally here with 18 billion different CFUs, postbiotics, and bacteriophages to help bacteria thrive, and then add to it the PB Assist Plus, which is going to be perfect for their whole family. It's going to be gentle and powerful and travel friendly and delicious. So it's going to feel like a well-deserved treat. And then add in Digestion, which is the natural alternative to gas pills and acid blockers. So our take-home message for this group is going to be that this isn't just gut health, it's stability, stamina, and sanity for those trying to hold it all together. Next, we've got our 45 to 55-year-olds. Here comes the hormonal plot twist of life, right? This is where we start to experience bloating after meals, heartburn from foods that you used to love, and a metabolism that feels like it's slowed to a crawl. Heroes are going to be VMG Plus that step in with targeted probiotics, soothing oils, and just incredible nutrition to keep things flowing and going and help the hormones have what they need to keep your body in balance. Then add E Omega Plus, which contains the omegas that reduce GI inflammation and support bile flow for better fat digestion, which is critical as estrogen fluctuates. And then add PB Restore, which helps restore microbial balance, eliminate harmful microbes, and enhance regularity during hormonal shifts. PB Assist Plus, which is going to additionally support daily resilience in the face of disrupted sleep and food sensitivities, which are hallmarks of the 45 to 55 decade. And then add Digestion, which is the natural bloat and burn fixer that you can absolutely rely on without the rebound of over-the-counter or rebound effects that we see from over-the-counter drugs so often. So this system's take-home message for 45 to 55 will be that this system isn't just going to help with digestion, it's going to support the whole cascade of midlife vitality. And then for our 55 plus group, we're going to talk about how as we age, gut function slows, absorption weakens, and immune health becomes our top priority. It's never too late to nourish the microbiome. So VMG Plus has a myriad, like a symphony. I loved how you talked about a symphony, Dr. Spellman, of incredible ingredients that are going to nourish at the root and help keep things going and flowing even when our digestion is sluggish. And it's going to provide essential nutrients to optimize energy, which is also very important. Then we've got E Omega Plus to support the intestinal barrier, reduce inflammation, and help protect against cognitive decline through the gut-brain axis. Our PB Restore and PB Assist Plus, that is incredibly powerful to support a healthy microbial environment and is critical to be used daily to maintain healthy immunity, regularity, and microbial balance. And then add in Digestion for this age group to help with feelings of heaviness, post-meal discomfort without fog or dependency. So for our 55 plus demographic, our take-home message is digestive health isn't just about comfort, it's about independence, longevity, and strength. So I want you to pause and think back over those 4 stages and remember the people that you thought about as we talked about them. So when you feel that nudge, now is the time to write down their names, people that you love, people that you care about, people that you lead. Write down someone from each of the demographics and then reach out with a simple message. Something that I would text someone right now would be, you came to mind today. I've been learning about new natural science-backed ways to support gut health, and I think it could really help you. Can I share it with you? Remember that you are their bridge, their messenger, you are the difference. So let's share now.
Thank you, Ruth. Amazing job. I appreciate the focus and the energy and appreciate your knowledge. Thank you for sharing that with us. Let's do a little bit of a cleanup. We have, first of all, want you to submit your digestion testimonials. The QR code is there. The website is down on the bottom, and we'd love to hear your experiences with the digestion products. So looking forward to hearing from that. Also, wanted to make you aware of the seasonal testimonials, which are Ava Schneider and Lane Adams. So congratulations to you guys. What a wonderful thing. So we're going to do a little bit of cleanup, and we're going to hear Ava and Lane talk about the seasonal testimonials. We're going to do the cleanse ones also at the same time, where we'll hear from Ramonita Maldonado and Melinda Nichols. And then we'll go to Laura Jacobs after that. So Jackson, take it away with whoever you have lined up next.
Hi, so I've been doing the cleanse consistently, super consistently for the last 30 days. And I've noticed that I have more energy, my mind is more clear, and my skin is brighter, looking really good. I'm really loving all the effects that have been coming about because of my consistency with the cleanse. So love it. Thank you so much.
Hello guys. So I did the cleanse back when I was 26 and then again when I turned 30. And the first time I noticed just such a huge difference in my skin. I have acne prone skin. I noticed a difference in my skin, inflammation around my gut, and I noticed better sleep, more restful sleep. And the sleep is still amazing to this day, thanks to the supplements and the everyday products that I use in my home. I recommend this so much to people, this cleanse. And I remember feeling so good that I motivated my fiance to do it the next month. Um, it's just amazing, and you have to experience it for yourself. This cleanse is amazing. Thank you, doTERRA.
Hi everybody, my name is Ava and I wanted to share my testimony about TriEase. When I got started in doTERRA about 11 years ago, I was looking for an allergy solution because my husband would do that snort stuff, that kind of stuff, and it would just drive me absolutely crazy. So when I first started with doTERRA, Nick Kilpack told me that there was a seasonal relief. And so with the lavender, lemon, peppermint already made into the soft gels, I gave it to my husband and he started taking it every day. And fast forward 11 years later, he loves it. He just shared it with his boss at the golf course, and his boss enrolled. So I'm really, really impressed that my husband is sharing after 11 years and he's still loving it, and he still gets so much relief. Got off all the over-the-counter stuff, got off shots, and now he's completely an advocate. So thanks, doTERRA.
I wanted to share my seasonal threats testimonial. A few weeks ago, we were in Colorado for a family wedding, and we were at a very high altitude. We live in San Diego, sea level, so we were at sometimes at 10,000 feet and sometimes 8,000, and we were there for about a week. When we got home, I had noticed that my sinuses were really dry and just irritated when I was there, but I couldn't tell if I was coming down with something or what. But anyway, when we got home, everything just started draining. And so I was super stuffy and I wasn't sure again, am I coming down with something? But I got my breathe stick out of the trailer because we keep it in our trailer for camping. Rubbed that on my chest, and I got my breathe roller and rubbed it over my nose, the bridge of my nose, and at the base of my skull from ear to ear. And then every night taking TriEase, and every day taking TriEase, and staying on top of all of that. And of course, drinking plenty of water with lemon in it. So I got through it. I did it very consistently, and I felt great as best I could the whole time. Thank you, doTERRA.
So thank you to all the testimonials, and we appreciate that. We'll send you the gift card, and we'll get that to you in the next handful of days. And I'll turn it over to Laura Jacobs.
Thank you. All right. We are now headed into our next topic, which is cellular health, one that I'm super passionate about and super excited to dive into and to really bring to life, so that as you hear these amazing presenters and about different solutions and different demographics, I want to build a foundation of understanding to ensure that all of us are on the same page and we can absorb the information made available to us that much more efficiently. I really love this line. You are only as healthy as your cells. Think about it. Think about it. Like, do we really see our health at that level? And so maintaining our cellular integrity, its overall health, function, and structure stability is vital for our capacity to prevent us being, shall we say, overly influenced by our environment. And so we've got our work cut out for us. This is really the core effort with everything that we're doing here. So when it comes to our cell integrity, there's 4 key components here. One, the actual membrane. We've heard about that multiple times, especially from Dr. Riggs, for example, and how important our omegas are to keeping our membranes fluid and working. We're going to see an image in a minute that will make that important. And then did you know cells have their own little organs? Yes, they have all kinds of structures. We talk about the mitochondria often. Then there's the DNA within the nucleus itself, as well as cell-to-cell communications. And all these need to be on their game. Now, what could compromise that integrity? Well, these are the things we're speaking to throughout the day and often in our doTERRA world. One, deficiencies. They would hinder the ability of the cell to actually function, not to mention oxidative stress driven by free radicals, environmental toxins, and prolonged stress. Any of that is going to take a toll on the cellular integrity. So with that in mind, this is such an important image here. I love this. And I love this concept that the bottom line for our wellness, again, if our cellular health is it, what's going on down on a cellular level? So take a look at these two images of the difference between a healthy cell and an unhealthy cell. And anybody who ever hangs out with me has heard me say a million times, there's only two things that ever go wrong: too much of the wrong thing, too little of the right thing, or in other words, deficiency and toxicity. And this is how that's driven on a cellular level. When the membrane or the integrity of the cell, for example, becomes corrupted, then look at what happens to the nutrients. They become misdirected, and only a portion or a fraction of what we need then enters the cell. And the same is true then of our waste products. They're not going to depart from the cell efficiently, and then we'll find our cells, shall we say, overstuffed with the wrong kinds of things, because they've got to be able to eliminate their waste. So what are we solving for here in this section in talking about cellular health? Because this cellular integrity is truly fundamental, and it impacts everything from our cognitive function to our immune response. So our goal then would be to maintain cellular integrity to 1, prevent damage, 2, to promote repair and regeneration, and 3, to support its overall health and well-being. So with that in mind, my task at the moment is to, again, hey, let's go back to the foundational wellness bundle. Let's take a look at these amazing products and see how they're solving for this very thing to enhance our cellular integrity. So when it comes to VMG, you can see the emphasis is exactly on that. And how does that happen? Those outstanding 92 ingredients in this product compilation help us neutralize oxidative stress. We talked about that earlier because of the abundance of antioxidants. The ingredients help us maintain healthy membranes, vital. They provide key nutrients for energy production, like with our mitochondria, and help us promote, yes, that critical detoxification process from the cell. Together, these ingredients then will help us express our genes in a healthy way, have cell membrane stability, and have a natural renewal of our cells, ensuring that they're functioning optimally throughout their life cycle, and therefore we're resisting premature aging. Sounds good, right? Sign me up. So here's kind of the deeper dive. Let's take a look. Let's look under the lens of what all. Okay, we're not going to again look at 92 ingredients, but let's just take a few and take a quick glance here at what do I have inside my VMG that is a rock star for helping me with those processes we just listed. So L-methionine is an amino acid that's very, very key in protein synthesis and helping us produce glutathione, which is one of the most important antioxidants in our utter existence. And that will then drive, again, this detoxification process, protection from oxidative stress, and the maintaining of the protein structures within the cell. Okay, so you get the drift. Then we go into an ingredient from sugar beets that's going to help us support our DNA integrity, help us maintain healthy gene expression. Again, sign me up, and help our cells to repair efficiently from any kind of damage that they've been exposed to. Then we go into an ingredient, Rosa something, I don't know how to say that. It's rich in vitamin C and antioxidants, once again, helping us to enhance our immune response. And on a cellular level, it helps protect our membranes from oxidative damage. And acetylcysteine, we've heard so much about that over the last 5 years, also known as NAC or NAC. Oop, there we go again, helping to drive that cellular detoxification and maintain healthy cells. Broccoli seed, we talked about that earlier, protecting or promoting cellular detoxification, antioxidant defenses, coenzyme CoQ10. Oh, that stuff's amazing, right? So popular in many, many genres. And when it comes to heart health and cellular health, and again, enhances our cellular energy. We've got apple fruit powder, once again, supporting our capacity to defend ourselves from oxidative stress and help our DNA to repair. Pomegranate protects our mitochondria. What profound ingredients, right? Again, you've got a whole crew of ingredients here to help you promote this incredible cellular health. So you've got your turmeric. I'll just mention a couple things here. Improves cell resistance. Love that. Grapeseed extract. Again, we're talking about oxidative stress protection, ginkgo biloba, so good for the brain, helps to increase oxygen delivery to our cells. Ginger root, one of my personal favorites, really, really great for cellular metabolism. That's why it's in our MetaPower blend as well. You've got the chokeberry, which is great for cell membranes. The pine bark, we talked about that earlier, also helps to protect the cells. Ooh, this is a big one, from environmental toxins. Grape skin extract helps us to have healthy aging and protects our DNA. And then dandelion, we talked about that during the 30-day segment, helps to promote detoxification. So I hope you understand the unbelievable staff that you've hired for yourself in consuming VMG on a regular basis. Now to our omega, again, Dr. Riggs has really taken the forefront of the conversation here in teaching us about omegas and not only our cell membrane integrity, but also the flexibility, because that exchange of nutrients in and waste out is not going to happen without proper levels of omegas. And yet we know that in society across the planet, with the exception of just a few countries, everyone's omega-3 deficient. So what does that mean for your capacity of your cell to perform? It means it's going to be compromised. And then as we spoke about at the top here with cellular health, we have to have our cells communicating with each other, and the omegas are going to show up for us in that way. We're always talking about healthy inflammatory responses. We're always talking about protecting ourselves from oxidative stress. And particularly here, we have this great emphasis on our heart health and our cellular energy that the omegas are going to participate in fruitfully. And then lastly, we have our PB Restore. And how is like a probiotic solving for my cellular integrity and function? The answer is yes, because a balanced microbiome, which it's obviously going to help to fund, is going to enable efficient DNA repair and cell replication. Well, that's big. And again, we're back to removing cellular waste and cellular function and providing healthier cellular environments. I'm excited to share some things with you in the next portion here that's really going to bring that to life for you. Our probiotics and et cetera help us to prevent excessive activation of our inflammatory system, which of course will happen when our gut microbiome is out of balance, which we just so beautifully learned about. We've also got healthy metabolites. Those are those postbiotics that help us with so many different functions in our body, including mitochondrial health and cellular energy production. And lastly, the cell signaling that we talked about is going to be promoted when we have healthy guts, because then we're going to be promoting cell function and repair. How blessed are we, right? Like, we got this. So it's my pleasure to turn it over to the one and only Lauren Bush, who's going to take us to the next level on looking at our targeted solutions with cellular health.
Thank you, Laura. Okay, so guys, we're starting with foundational wellness bundle, and then we're going to add on a couple amazing products. And I just want to give one more analogy, playing back to what Laura was talking about. And that is, if we are telling our cells to do a job and our cells are dysfunctional, they're not going to do the job well. And so sometimes we'll be talking to a customer and they'll be sharing experience with a product. I saw this in some of the chat, and they'll be saying, oh, they had a different experience with the product than what I told them they were going to have. And it goes back to this. Where were the health of their cells, or where was the health of their cells at? Where was the programming at? If I have a broken lawnmower and I'm trying to go out and trying to cut my grass, like, yeah, that's what the lawnmower is supposed to do, is supposed to cut it, but the blades weren't sharp. They're kind of crooked. I'm getting chunks ripped up out of the lawn. Like, just because I turned the lawnmower up faster, I just caused more damage, right? So we want to go back to the root of the problem. Are the cells doing their jobs correctly before we crank up the volume on telling them to do their job faster, to do it more, etc.? Going back again to reflecting what Laura said, at the root of it, it's our cells. So when we hear cellular health, we kind of write it off maybe as a like fluff or some like ethereal topic. But the fact is if your cells aren't healthy, you aren't healthy. And it's because of how we're built. So we have our molecules, chemistry. That's why oils are so amazing. We are chemistry at our core. We have cells. Our cells make up the tissues make up the organs make up systems, and then that makes up us, the organism. So if the cells aren't healthy, the tissue's not healthy, the organ's not healthy, the system's not healthy, the organism is not healthy. So we're going back and we're reminding those cells of their programming. So I don't know if all of you are aware, but our frankincense essential oil is actually really, really special. And it's because it is multiple species in one. And what that does is it increases the complexity of the chemistry. So we're able to create more outcomes on a cellular level and speak to more types of cells. And so when we talk about all of our targeted solutions, we picture this with everyone is on foundational wellness. We have our top 13 essential oils in the home, and then we're adding on our top 2 targeted solutions. So we have our amazing frankincense essential oil blend as a key piece of this. And there's 2 main constituents that we lean into heavier, meaning even with the combination of our 4 frankincense species, there's 2 main constituents that tell the loudest story. And even though we're only talking about 2 constituents, each of those constituents creates a specific type of response. There's multiple reasons that a cell isn't doing its job. So when we talk about limonene, which is in many other types of oils, but it's also in our frankincense, we're looking for healthy cells, healthy organ function. We're looking for cleansing. We're balancing out our immune function, metabolic function, creating a positive outlook, healthy inflammatory response. And then alpha pinene, again, we're going for healthy cells, healthy inflammatory response, healthy immune function. It's an antioxidant, and it's also cleansing. There are multiple other chemical constituents. And just to show you, again, when a cell's not doing its job, because our cells all might have slightly different assignments, when we speak to them through chemistry, we might create different outcomes. And that's what chemistry is what is the story we're evoking from these cells, from their programming. So, for example, alpha-theogenine speaks to our GABA receptors. Alpha-pinene, it inhibits acetylcholinesterase, which if you have enough acetylcholine, you can focus really well. So when we stop that enzyme, we stop the breakdown of our ability to be able to focus. We're regulating our nervous system. We're regulating our immune response because we're talking to different types of cells. So again, you don't need to memorize the chemistry. Your customers don't need to know the chemistry. Just know the beautiful complexity of this combination of multiple types of frankincense in one bottle provides multiple cells the support and the reminder of what they were programmed to do. So when we talk about our targeted solution, it is the combination of boswellic acid complex and DDR prime. You should have frankincense in the home, so that's why it's pictured here. It's one of our top 13 oils, so you can bring this in as well. It gives us some additional options for applying things topically. And then if I could say anything about something key to remind the difference between throwing frankincense essential oil into a soft gel versus our frankincense boswellic acid complex, is the differentiator is that boswellic acid, it is one of the strongest reprogrammers of our immune system when our immune system has identified our cells as the enemy. So it reminds our cells, hey, guess what? The thyroid isn't actually the bad guy, or whatever other system is being attacked by our own immune system. It is reminding our cells, like, what are you doing? That's not the problem. The problem is these other invaders over here. So I love what frankincense boswellic acid complex does. It reminds our cells, it calms down the immune system, tells it to stop reacting. It provides protection to the cells that have been damaged either by our own immune system or by exposures we're experiencing every day. And then we have frankincense in this beautiful complex as well. So we have, again, all that reprogramming of the DNA, reminding it what it's programmed to do. So 3 main programs of a cell is 1, it needs to be able to duplicate. When our cells stop duplicating, we cease to exist. We age faster, right? They have their specialized functions. So obviously if a liver cell is a little different than a cardio cell versus a skin cell versus a neuron, things are a little bit different. And then when they get to this point where they can't do their job properly, they are supposed to be like, hey, I got to check out. Like, I'm not doing my job. And so it doesn't benefit you for me to be here. And some cells forget that part. And so then they're replicating their destruction, like their chaos and into the system. And so that's one of the reminders that we need from a cellular programming level, is that once that DNA is beyond repair, If we can repair it, let's do it. Once it can't anymore, the cell should be like, I'm checking out. Like I'm not meant to be here anymore. So that, hopefully our DDR prime, you got to see that there, our damaged DNA repair, we're going back to DDR prime. And this is 8 amazing essential oils. And what we're doing in this blend is, again, we're bringing the complexity of multiple different types of chemistry, because when we say DDR prime, we don't speak to one body system. We speak to overall DNA repair, all the cells. So that chemistry that is inside of this blend has to speak to so many different types of cells that we need this complexity that can only be found in multiple essential oils being brought together in one. Okay, I get to bring in the one and only amazing Hilary LeMay. Hilary, take it away.
Thank you. It is great to be back together with you. And when we think of our cellular support micro habits, we need a way to connect the dots. And I know you love a good visual to anchor into these ideas. So do me a favor and comment in the chat if you have used toilet paper today. I don't need the details. You can keep them personal. Just say yes or no. It's a no-brainer, right? Now, comment in the chat if you've used your DDR prime and frankincense today. And if you run out of your DDR prime soft gels while they're out of stock, you can make your own veggie caps. So no excuses. But I want to challenge you to make these cellular support micro habits and using these tools your Charmin. So where am I going with this? Well, good old Charmin is something that you may take for granted, and it's something that you need daily, and you don't really question it. There's no drama around whether you need it. You don't think twice about adding it to your grocery list. It's a non-negotiable. You always make sure you have it, because if you don't, then this is what happens. And so I only have a few minutes, but I want to quickly step you through the ages and stages to quickly highlight exactly why you'll want to stock your cabinet with DDR and frankincense and turn these into your Charmin for cellular health, something that you need to keep on hand and use consistently regardless of your age. So as a virtual goodie bag, because I always like to leave you with more ways to expand on the learning that you're just establishing here, you can connect with me on Instagram after the webinar. My handle is just my first name and last name, and you can mention this segment, and I will send you links to all of my educational content on both DDR and frankincense. And you're welcome to share it with everyone, anyone, customers, builders, anyone you like. So let's kick it off with our 20 to 30 demographic there. So in your 20s, you are building habits that set the stage for lifelong wellness. And think of your cells like the foundation of a house. When you keep them strong now, you have fewer repairs down the road when you're older. And if you keep that Charmin cabinet stocked, you will never be without, especially when you're burning the candle at both ends with late nights, stress, environmental exposure. And DDR prime and frankincense can help you soothe that occasional discomfort from those intense workouts or your busy days, and they are perfect for keeping your skin glowing and your body feeling great. Now, the next demographic as we shift, this is for, let's see if the slides want to cooperate. Great. So this is the juggling act phase. This is careers, families, more responsibilities. Just like you wouldn't skip stocking up on your Charmin during those busy weeks, you don't want to skip that cellular support. And DDR prime helps protect your cells from oxidative stress and support healthy cellular function, which is crucial when your stress levels are rising and you are exposed to more environmental threats. So frankincense is great for managing inflammation and soothing stiffness, whether it might be from long hours at your desk at work or chasing your kids. And think of these tools as your daily reset button, helping your body stay resilient and ready for whatever comes next. All right, and next, as you hit midlife, maintenance becomes key, and you would not want to wait until the last roll of Charmin to restock And the same goes for your cellular health. So DDR Prime supports your cellular renewal and the integrity, helping your body respond to the natural wear and tear that just comes with age. So the ingredients in DDR Prime help support your healthy immune response and your cognitive function, so you can stay sharp and active. And frankincense supports joint comfort and skin health, making it easier for you to keep up with all the hobbies and the daily activities that you want to maintain. So it's about supporting your body's natural ability to repair and renew, so you feel great every day. And then our next stage, as we shift into this stage, this is about comfort and longevity as our top priorities. So just like you don't want to run out of your Charmin again, or in this harsh single ply case, you don't want to run out of your cellular support tools either. You don't want to be low on those. So DDR Prime helps protect your cells from those cumulative effects of oxidative stress and support overall cellular health. So think of that as the ongoing maintenance for your body. And frankincense is especially beneficial for managing any chronic stiffness or supporting skin regeneration, so you can stay comfortable and confident in your skin as you age. And these tools are about supporting your quality of life, so you can keep doing what you love with fewer interruptions. And so no matter your age or your stage, these tools are like your Charmin of cellular health. They are essential, they are reliable, and something that you definitely do not want to be without. They support your body's foundation. They help you manage the stressors of daily life and keep you feeling your best at every stage. So now you can see why I am challenging you to making these two tools a non-negotiable part of every single day. And I hope that every time you use your Charmin, you will think, have I taken my DDR? Have I taken my frankincense today? And hopefully this will be a trigger to remind you to keep those threads going. And just like you do with your Charmin, you keep that cabinet stocked. Your future self will thank you. And again, be sure to connect with me on social after, and just mention the webinar. I'll send you lots of other educational content I've created over the years. These are tools that I do not ever go a day without, and I have had them. I've been documenting our family use of these tools since 2014. And in no time, you'll be making these micro habits as automatic as reaching for your Charmin every day. Thank you so much.
Hillary, thank you very much. And thank you for being so generous with your training materials. And we'll see you at the end of the next session, I believe. I believe it's the energy session that you'll be doing the same thing with. So I love the analogy. Thank you. Also, just want to make sure that you have those that have testimonials can share them. We want to hear from you. And on the last one, we have 4 winners. Somebody came in at the end that we just couldn't ignore. So let me just let you know who we have on the digestion testimonials that Jackson will play. It'll be Stacy Posernich, Victoria Rodriguez, Erica Black, and Craig Cottle. So Jackson, take it away with the testimonials.
I joined doTERRA 12 years ago, primarily for the digestive issues that I'd had